All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Manuel Preciado Miguel, and today we got this project, the social justice campaign, specifically targeting undocumented students. I have here alongside me Melanie. She's an undocumented student herself, and she will be telling us about her struggles, how she's lived ever since she was born or came to the United States. So go ahead and introduce yourself, Melanie. Yeah, go ahead, Melanie.
Um, like Manuel said, my name's Melanie, and I came to the United States at the age of 6. I crossed the border with my mother since my father was already here in the US. It's been like that since my childhood. Originally, I was born in Mexico, Yucatan. I mainly grew up with my mother, some of my family members over there. Um, Basically, my father came back and forth from Mexico to the US because he was mainly here to support us as a family, like financially. And it was until, again, like the age of 6, that my mother officially was thinking that we should just be with my father, not have that family distance, because I'm sure it was hard for her as it was for me. And so we did. We successfully came here, and from there, it's just been a constant moving on from San Francisco to Oakland, not having that much stability, just getting again grounded with us as a family.
Got it. Thank you, Melanie. What are some of the challenges that you've faced, like when applying for post-secondary education, of course, college, university? I'm sure you had these dreams of like going to a 4 year maybe. How about you tell me something about the that
Yeah.
yourself?
Um, well, college, the experience of college, I feel like I have yet to live. But again, the whole graduating after high school and deciding what to do was tough, especially picking a college. That's all I feel like I was ever taught when I got into high school. Is just like, what are you gonna do afterwards? And mainly it was, what college are you gonna go into? Because my high school focused on, and I really did want to attend like a UC college. At first, because I wanted to study marine biology. Like I wanted to do something in the STEM field. I applied to those colleges, UC, CSUs, and I did get accepted to UC Davis. But that choice was hard to make because I was also during COVID time, and I needed a lot of support making this decision. I asked some of my friends, I asked some of my mentors, and in the end of the day, like it really felt like a money issue. And that's what it is, because I wasn't lucky enough to get a lot of scholarships. And a little bit about that is because majority of scholarships did be like a US citizen or have DACA. And I'm the type of undocumented student who doesn't or couldn't get DACA. So it was really hard. I think I only had to depend on the money I was given by Dream Act, and you could say one scholarship. And again, like college is expensive, and I think it's getting expensive. So I didn't think I could sustain myself if I did go to like a university, like a CSU or UC, I should say, because I needed to work is what I thought I could do, right? But again, because I don't have documentation, I can't legally work. So, and I didn't have anyone to like guide me through that, like, oh, you, this is what you can do, or things like that. So I kind of just felt like I had to go on my own way and do what I think I can. And I opted out for community college because it was very inexpensive. And again, I feel like a sense of pride that I hold is that I don't want to have my parents pay for my college tuition because I feel like they already given me enough, and I feel like I don't want to continue asking from them. Like I want to show up for myself. And it's just aside from financials, it then became like an issue about academics. Again, like at first I was gonna do STEM, but chemistry became really hard. I didn't have time to really ask for tutoring because then luckily I did land through my connections that I made at high school. So that opportunity was really big for me. So I took it. That I'm legally working now with my old high school, like as a teacher support and after school staff. So it's been a little bit about navigating now work and going to college, and my academics and mental health started suffering because of that. I didn't know how to balance that. And there isn't really anyone like I get and be like, hey, how did you make it work? Because I am first generation in my family. No one really has been to college or can speak on that for me or for me. And then it's just really feeling a sense of like lost and what should I do, or is what I'm doing worth it that I had to deal with. And I consider my college years as my adult years. So the idea of like navigating as a undocumented adult is really hard because you're also thinking about your future. And like for me, I'm thinking for my future, the future of my family that I may have, or like the future that I currently have with my family here, with my siblings and things like that. I feel like being the oldest too is like there's a lot to think about. There's a lot at stake. And at times it feels like a burden, like riding on my back because they're depending on me.
Right. Yeah, thank you, Melanie. Yeah, I'm sure it's been very hard for you. Um, yeah, definitely being the oldest and being first generation, of course, not having that figure, that clear path in mind. You kind of have to navigate yourself and just really look for the resources that you can, that you do have access to. And yeah, I'm sure it's been hard for you, but the good thing about all of this is that you've been making it work
Yeah.
and that you are working, you are going to school, you are trying to pursue all these opportunities for yourself. Um, of course, mental health is a big um, a big issue too that we all must take care of. Um, but yeah, I mean, I feel like you've done a great job. It's all it's all part of it's all part of the
The journey, they say.
journey. Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
the journey, of course.
Yeah. And
Um,
I was just gonna add that like just specifically, like I think the whole growing up and learning to be you is a thing that stems from specifically I'm going to talk about like Latino undocumented students, is that like whole idea of generational trauma that we have, and the whole like feeling guilty for our family members because we get to experience these opportunities that quote like again like that they give to us. It's just being on that journey of healing too, because like I said, it feels like a pressure, and it's like subconsciously we don't know that we got put into these cycles, you could say. So yeah.
yeah, and I feel like well, me, for example, like I was born here in the United States, even though my parents did come here, uh, immigrated here to the United States. Uh, Obviously, they are undocumented at the moment and still are, but I was fortunate to have been born here in the US. So there's this different struggles about like like within the Latino community. So we have like the the people who have that immigrated with their parents and were born in their countries like Mexico, Guatemala, all these Central American countries, and we have the ones that only their parents immigrated and then the kids were born in the United States. So it is like different struggles, and I feel like it's just it's just hard to, like not it's hard to relate and like but all we can do is like really just be empathetic and try to like do our research and find ways to help each other as well.
Yeah.
Um, but
But
yeah,
what I think,
it's definitely different because like being undocumented, you have less there's like that social and legal issue.
yeah, yeah.
But
And
for like people born, my bad. For people born here in the United States, it's like more of just like a social issue more than a legal issue because we do have these opportunities of like working, we have our social,
mhm.
we can pay for college, we can work during college and pay for college at the same time. Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel it.
Yeah, I think what stood out to me, like you were saying, we were speaking about other undocumented students. And I think that's so important is that, like, I believe that every undocumented student is stories is different and experiences. Because at the end of the day, like, you have to think about identity, like, again, their background, where they're coming from, where they were born. It's just the idea of identities that we have so many for ourselves. And the only thing that connects us as students who are undocumented is just like the mainstream struggles, like you said, illegally, that there's that barrier. Um, but again, it's pretty different based on who we are. Like if we're female or male, sexual orientation, it's just all that balls up into kind of the idea like what kind of undocumented student you are. But yeah, I think that's the biggest pressure we feel. It's just, and more than anything, it's just worries about the future of like things will change, like government wise, like will they finally pass something or keep DACA because there's that insecurity that I hear. Will they ever like the idea open up their borders and like see that not all like undocumented people are bad people because we have that stigma since they see us that we're here to take their resources or that we're criminals. It's just not everybody is like that. And it's like being grouped into that. And it's just a sense of hoping for the future because that's all we need is change. I believe that we need a lot of systematic change. And maybe that will support the views that people have on undocumented students. It's seeking that opportunity waiting to happen. Yeah.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. And yeah, I feel like a lot of the reason why there hasn't been enough change is because there's not a lot of representation within
Mm-hmm.
like the Latino community and like let's say the media, for example, the media itself, like news media, there's just a bunch of white people, American born, like there's not really like, minority Latinos that are in these like covering news or like in these politics, like having politic conversations in the mainstream media, I mean. And I feel like it's hard for like one person to voice us as a whole. But I feel like there are people working towards that. It's just a matter of like, I don't know, maybe like for it to spread and for enough people to care.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like a lot of like Latino families, they are maybe a little self-centered and just think about their own problems instead of like the whole picture in some ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like it just takes one person to maybe one person and a couple more
Mm-hmm.
really make a change and like try to make a change. I mean, in this case, I'm trying to make a change. Maybe this will reach out to somebody and they'll they'll want to, work something out. But yeah, I mean, it's a struggle. It's an everyday struggle for sure.
Yeah, and I think in the end of the day, there is hope. And like they say, we are greater in numbers. So just making sure that like people's stories are shared and not being afraid to like speak of your own stories is the biggest thing. And just definitely putting yourself out there can be scary, but at the end of the day, like we only get like they say, one life to live. So it's better to make the best out of it than like not allowing yourself to live the life that you deserve just because of your status. I think that's one thing that I keep telling myself too, is that I need to make the life that I can and just keep on going. And I do appreciate the people who are already doing that, and they're putting themselves out there in social media or like just generally when they can. I definitely see them as role models. And even though I don't know them closely, it's like just them hearing about their experiences does help out and does bring awareness to situations and new sense of like vocabulary or what can be going on. But yeah.
Got it. Yeah, that's definitely a good way to look at it. Yeah, just living day by day as well. Just living what you can, doing what you can. Um, but yeah. Um, yeah, limited opportunities, you guys, for undocumented students. Uh, One of the main struggles, of course, is paying for college and having this social, personal issue of whether you should move out of your parents' house. They've taken care of you for so long. And maybe when you move out or try to go to college, it's like you're kind of betraying them or abandoning them. Of course, they want the best for you, but you still have this connection keeping you with them. But
Yeah.
yeah,
'Cause I think specifically for that, it's that you don't, for me, it's that I don't want to be selfish. And I think for a long time, I felt like I can't be selfish because I had to care for my family and I had to care for my siblings. It, yeah, the whole concept of moving out is kind of hard for feeling that guilt that you have for your family. And again, it stems from how you were raised or if you were parentified into being a parent for your family or having that responsibility. Because I think a lot of undocumented students, I feel like they're raised, or sorry, I'll speak again for myself. I was raised with the drive that like I need to be responsible. I need to be independent because if no one else is gonna do that for me, then at that point it feels like I'll be a failure because again I have to fight for myself and to fight for the things that I need.
yes, yeah, I do get that for sure. Um, so let's end this on a good note.
Mm-hmm.
Let Tell me your plan. What's your goal in mind right now? What are you doing? Uh,
Yeah.
what's the goal for the next year, let's say?
Mm. I think the goal for next year, what truly is for me is, um, I don't know if you heard about this before, but it's just like healing, like the idea that I do need to heal from that generational trauma, from just generally things that I have been feeling guilty for being again either first generation, being undocumented, and being the oldest sister and being a Latina. It's just I feel like I do want to work next year on that healing journey and like forgive myself and forgive others. And hopefully that will definitely guide me more to be more stable in the sense of I can definitely balance school again and I can definitely keep my job. And ultimately, like, I really do hope to move out because I think I need that for myself as much as, again, I have this love and like love, I don't want to say hate, but like I will say a love and hate relationship with my own family. So I think I am really looking out to moving out so that I can finally have my own peace, and still grow and take and finally be selfish and take those opportunities for myself. And knowing that I will always come back for my family, my siblings, to show up for them once I finally have allowed myself to be happy and do the things that I know I can do.
Of course, and you can do a lot, of course. Uh, well, thank you so much, Melanie. You've said a lot today. Very important stuff, compelling story. Uh, I am so thankful to you for coming out here and just telling us everything that you've been through, all your struggles, and yeah,
Yeah,
a lot to
thank you.
take from this.
I just sorry. I just want to say thank you as well, for giving me the space and you could say the platform to speak on about the side that again should be shared with everybody so they don't feel alone. But yeah.
All right, that covers this section. Uh, yeah, this was Melanie and your host Manuel here. Thank you for listening, and till next time.